Welcome back, insiders. Today we're going to be coming out with a recap video on PALI, which I just got stuck in one of the biggest flushes of the year for me personally, including a halt down. So I took one of my biggest losers in a long time, in several months. And this is it right here, this drop. So that's what I want to share with you guys in this video, including a live recording of that happening. I did want to do the live stream today, but I was having a lot of consistency issues with the internet. So it would work perfectly fine and then would crash. It would work fine and crash. In terms of trading, it wasn't an issue. But with the stream, that was where I'm broadcasting from OWS to YouTube. That's where the issue came in. So I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I need to check a few more things, and I would actually have to commute to a different house for me to stream. I think it might be a possibility, but I'm not totally sure if I'm going to go down that road yet. So I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter, where I always tweet all of my kind of updates and trading recaps, and also any swing trades. I did also want to share that big congrats to Triad Trading, who is Tom. Check him out. He also has a YouTube channel. He had his first 4-digit day. Big congrats. I wish I was joining you on that 4-digit day, but I was a little bit sloppy today, and you guys are going to see exactly where I went wrong. So this is PALI right here. It had a kind of a high float, but it did have a nice market cap. So market cap around 5 million, float around 8.5, which is a little bit higher than we're used to, but it's still below 10 million, which is not bad. It had a catalyst, and it was also a fairly cheap stock. It was probably the second lead gapper behind ONMD, which was looking really good, but it never really did anything. So I think PALI was really the one everyone was looking at today. So let's go over to the live recording, and this happened slightly after the market opened. What is this? It's at 9:46 a.m. Eastern. It recently just had a flush, and I tried to get some entries here, and I kept on missing it. And I think this is what was frustrating me a little bit. I was a little bit too conservative. I was up 465 on PALI, which is not bad, but I think I was having a little bit of FOMO. Also pre-market, I tripped over myself a lot with PALI. And the reason I was tripping over myself is because I was, for like 20 minutes while I was trading PALI, I was trying to get the stream to work, which was having connection issues. I couldn't get the green button or the go live button on YouTube streaming to be clickable. And I was trying to do that on the side, and it was really throwing me off. So a little bit of technical difficulties on the side as well. So let's go ahead, watch this video and see what I'm thinking. So here you can see it's popping up. I'm looking for the break of 143, and I'm looking for ideally the break of 1.5. That's what I'm going through. I don't think I'm talking in this video, so I'll talk now. So I like what I'm seeing here, but I don't like the fact that it recently flushed. So I was being originally more cautious here. Now, again, I'm trying to get some entries here. And I think finally, eventually, I do get an entry here on a little micro pullback during the 5-minute breakout. It is 7:47. So this is actually a pretty nice time. Actually, this should say 9:47. So this is my local time. So I got a nice entry here, pops up. I'm up like 50 bucks or so, nothing too crazy. I'm looking for that break of 50. So here you can see my P&L up around 50 bucks. And then, yeah, between 30 and 50 bucks. Yeah, there's 60. And I'm waiting for that breakout. Unfortunately, instead of taking some profits off the table, I actually buy near the perfect high. I average up higher because I thought we were going to chip away. Volume could have been a bit nicer. But this is where things get really, really dangerous here because I did buy higher. I'm actually even buying on the way down. So I should have already cut. Instead of buying here, I should be cutting. And then this is where things get really bad. Look at that. Just a giant flush. I wrote that all the way down. This is a 20% flush from the top to the bottom. And I basically wrote that whole thing down. This is going to be like a 14-15% loss. It's actually even worse, maybe even than that. Because now I'm stuck in the halt. There you see I just measured the P&L, and I'm trying to get out on the halt. And things are looking really bad here. So I'm just going to fast forward. So here we go, opening up in 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1. Opens a little bit lower. This is good, buying lower, and I actually wanted to accumulate more. because I know oftentimes these tickers, when they open up after getting halted down and there's not a lot of selling pressure, they can rip up and it could be really nice. Unfortunately, this one had indecision and then it popped lower, and then I was like, oh man, if this hurts below VWAP, I'm gonna fly past my max loss. So this is where I get really nervous, and then I start slowly selling. I think I even maybe buy one more time, but at one point I start selling. I'm just like, I have way too much size for this thing to flush below VWAP, so I'm selling near the perfect low. So I was buying at like 46. Yeah, this was really painful. So yeah, I'm already down 700 on the day, and this was after being up over 500 on this ticker. So you know, we're talking about a pretty sizable over $1,000 loss on this ticker, and I'm already slowly closing out, and that's basically what's happening. I'm just constantly closing it out and go forward a little bit. It does end up popping up here, and I actually do a little bit of a dip trade, which I think I made back some of my losses on this dip trade, but it wasn't that, barely. And then I actually go for this dip trade, and this is actually where I make even more losses. So let's just go back here a little bit. Yeah, I go for this dip trade, which ends up still selling off, so then I have to cut my losses again on this one. So this was a real disaster for me, and this is PALI now. It just ended up selling off. There was really nothing I could have done. I was hoping that I could come back and make back my losses, but yeah, it just was not the case. And this is my P&L on the day. Luckily, it is actually a green day because I closed coin, so one of my swing trades I closed today. But in terms of day trading, it's a small scratch day. I'm down 124. The tickers that got me back green was really our lead gapper ONMD, which is really something I just went ahead and traded. I ended up trading this move back over VWAP right here. I bought this pullback. My trades aren't showing, but I bought this pullback here, and I took profits before it really broke out. It was just a micro move, and then earlier I actually traded this one. Okay, here my trades are showing. So yeah, I was about to say somewhere on this front side. So I was trading the classic break of VWAP, buying the pullbacks, and trading this area. I probably could have got more aggressive, but I was really close to max loss at this point. So I was being quite conservative on ONMD. And then with RVSN, this one was actually RVSN quite nice, but I didn't switch over to trading this one like I probably should have today. Let's see if I can, here it is. Because this one had a really nice front side, and I actually didn't trade this front side at all, which is a little bit depressing because it was actually pretty good. I kind of noticed it a little bit late, and I started trading it during the consolidation phase. Luckily, I was taking quick base hits, and that got me green on it. I just wasn't really able to take any big wins. You could see here I was trying to get that breakout, which never ended up happening. So my problem today, after having that big PALI loss, is I didn't find anything else that could have got me back green. I could have used bigger size on these two tickers, and I think that would have got me back green, but I was so close to max loss, I had to manage my risk at this point. I did not want to have a $1,000 red day. But I think continuing to trade a little bit longer today was probably the way to go. I'm also in Utah right now, and it's so interesting that the market closes at 2 p.m. Everything is a little bit different. I got to get used to this setup in terms of different time zones. So really what I should have done today when I was up over $500 or $400 even pre-market, I should have just called it, said, hey, it's a Monday. Let me start the week green, and let me also get used to my new environment. I didn't put enough weight or emphasis on that, and I think that would have been the wise decision. I do typically do that when I'm trading. I try to just get green, get going, and when it's Monday or Friday, I try to do that as well. So it's not something I didn't know, or it's not something that I typically don't do. Just today, I don't know why. I just went for a really bad trade on PALI. Here it is again. I would really mark this down as a pure FOMO trade. I knew this ticker was risky, but I went for it anyway, and I definitely deserved this loss, and it was a little bit of a wake-up call on the classic market exposure of what I was talking about on Thursday last week, where, you know, especially in this market where you only get a few good opportunities on it in a day. So if you want to make more money, don't trade longer. What you should be doing is trading bigger size and doing probably actually less trades. I'm usually having some nice wins, and then I end up giving back quite a bit. You'll see my running P&L here. For example, on Monday I was up 350, then I ended red. On Thursday I was up 1,000, over 1,040. and I was down 400 almost at the end, and then I ended up 350. So I do give back a lot of profits, and I do probably need to sometimes consider calling it a bit sooner so I don't have that market exposure eating me alive. If it was a hotter market, I think more exposure is good, and I do like getting more exposure to get more practice in. So it does have benefits, but in a shaky market like this, new time zone, it's a Monday, oftentimes the better decision is just get green, get going. And then tomorrow on a Tuesday, also I have a better understanding of the time zones a little bit. It's totally fine to stick around a little bit longer. Obviously, hindsight is always 20/20. There's also another ticker, NEXI, that was popping up, which didn't look so bad. It just didn't get enough volume till a little bit late, and then I saw it also a bit late. And by the time I jumped in it was kind of dead, besides this really nice move here. So I wish I stuck around a little bit longer. I basically traded it here, kept looking at it, and then I stopped looking at it somewhere here, even though the volume was fading. So I should have been more attentive. The fact that this was like a perfect 5-minute setup, you'll see it right here. Look at this beautiful bull flag, and it pulls back to VWAP and the 9 EMA, and then just rips up on some good volume. And also the sell volume here, the red candles were really light. So I should have been more attentive here. There was opportunities. I think I was just a little bit distraught at this point, and NEXI was kind of a random ticker that I wasn't really following. I was really looking at ONMD, PALI, a little bit of FGEN, RVSN, and then NEXI was kind of popping up there with low volume. I wasn't really focused on it. At least I was able to come back to more or less a scratch day. Hopefully tomorrow we can clean up a little bit more. Again, if I want to make more money, I don't need to trade longer. I just need to use bigger size. So I need to keep telling myself that in the back of my head without a question. I hope you guys enjoyed that live trading recording. Comment below so I know. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and dropping a like. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.